Good evening, I'm Andrew Johnson. We begin tonight with a wild day of weather on the South Island. Buckets of rain falling overnight shut down roads and highways, flooded homes, and sent sewage overflowing into the ocean. In the middle of it all, Victoria was the hot spot in Canada, breaking a temperature record by hitting a high of 13.9 degrees. But we begin our coverage on the West Shore, where a family is miraculously safe tonight after a rock face came down onto their house.
Yeah, the rock you see inside the house now with the moss on it belonged up there.
Ivan Sylvester can only shake his head after what happened outside his house in the pouring rain about 5:30 this morning.
I was awoken by this crash. The sound of a freight train entering the home. It lasted for about 3 or 5 seconds.
It was the sound of the rock face next to his house coming down, giant boulders striking 2 bedrooms in his home. Inside one, his young son.
Well, my son's room was pretty much rock in it, as you can see from the house. The bed's destroyed. He was fine. He's unhurt, not even a scratch.
A tenant was sleeping inside the bedroom downstairs where a massive rock came to rest next to the bed. Sylvester says the woman had recently moved the bed farther away from the wall. Had she not, she could have been seriously hurt. Instead, no one in the house was injured, but the building is cracked throughout, and Sylvester's family has been relocated by Emergency Family Services. He wonders how safe the rock face was in the first place.
How many areas throughout town do you have like this? I don't want to be guessing, but it's not the only place in the area that's subject to this situation. But this is an eye-opener.
Meantime, Soup Road today was turned into a lake. It was closed off to traffic after massive flooding outside West Coast Tire, where the owner came by to make sure the building was okay.
Basically, we come down to just survey what's going on, make sure that the equipment is all good, so we're ready to open tomorrow.
Nearby homes were also flooded, and a realtor stopping in for a showing quickly realized she wouldn't be writing up any offers today.
I don't know if they brought their boat or not, but we're not going to be getting in there, and I don't know if they're going to purchase this house now.
In Victoria, water is pumped out of an apartment building on Burdett Avenue. City officials say there were 20 calls for flooding overnight. Crews say some areas are prone to problems due to aging pipes.
That's old infrastructure, and we can only renew so much pipe per year with the money that's in the budget. And so it's a hard system to maintain, a very old system, one of the oldest systems in North America.
In Oak Bay, Julian Gunn walks into her flooded mess of a bedroom. The Gunns noticed water coming into the house about 10 last night, but it was already too late.
The water started coming in again from the garage and from the back door simultaneously, faster than we could bail it out. And by 4 o'clock in the morning, we had about a foot of water across the downstairs.
Her husband says the home also flooded last week and isn't laying the blame solely on Mother Nature.
Clearly, my city really wasn't prepared for an eventuality like this at all. This was just a setup waiting to happen.
Next door, Ted Knight can only smile.
Here we go again.
At least you're laughing.
Yeah. Well, what else can you do?
Officials in Sandwich say they had 60 reports of flooded roadways overnight. Some of the worst flooding was in the areas of Interurban Road and Blenkinsop Road. The rain also appears to have contributed to a water main break at the Berwick Royal Oak Retirement Residence on Elk Lake Drive. Sandwich police have also warned drivers to be careful getting on and off the Pat Bay Highway at Royal Oak because of water accumulating on the off-ramps. Police are also asking drivers to slow down, be mindful of the possibility of hydroplaning and longer stopping distances while the roads are wet. The deluge of rain has prompted a warning from the Capital Regional District advising you do not swim or wade into the water along Victoria's eastern shoreline because of overflowing sewage. The CRD says the wastewater has been heavily diluted by stormwater but may still pose a health risk. The water is flowing in the ocean at several outfalls running from the Finnerty Point to Clover Point along Dallas Road. The spokesperson says the long, heavy rain has challenged the region's sewer infrastructure, noting the eastern shoreline is particularly prone to problems because of its older collection system. We'll have more on what you can expect outside over the next coming days a little later on. Former Bear Mountain CEO Len Berry is scheduled to appear in court next month to face charges under the Income Tax Act. Berry confirms he is named in court documents alleging multiple counts of failure to comply, but he denies the allegations relate to tax evasion. The court documents allege the offenses occurred in August, but Barry says he does not know what prompted the charges. The former NHLer was removed as CEO of the Bear Mountain Resort in March. The resort was placed under creditor protection, owing HSBC Bank $250 million. HSBC is now the resort's official owner. Barry is scheduled to appear on the tax charges January 28th. Now to the Lower Mainland, where an upscale Vancouver neighborhood woke up today to gunfire that left 10 people injured, 2 critically. It happened in Shaughnessy at about 2 a.m. Witnesses report hearing dozens of gunshots and seeing a crowd of people fleeing the scene in cars and on foot. Police arrived to find several people suffering gunshot wounds, and others turned up at local hospitals over the next hour. Officers called the situation an outrageous display of gang-related violence.
This is a situation here that is very disturbing. There's a lot of people that have been hurt. Some will be connected to the gang lifestyle. We're working through those backgrounds. But the reality is this happened in a public place, on a public street, and innocent people could be caught up in this.
It is unclear at this point if any bystanders were hurt in what police are confident was a targeted shooting. Police say the 6 men and 3 women hospitalized after the shooting are not being cooperative. A 7th man refused treatment. Well, a Victoria scientist has made a stellar discovery, but in doing so has entered a world of questions about how solar systems are formed. Planet E is the 4th planet to be found in a solar system 128 light years away from Earth. How it was found may shed some light on the kind of technology needed to look farther into the universe. Indies reporter Astrid Brownschmidt has more.
This grainy image may not look like much, but it's actually a distant solar system. Victoria scientist Christian Marois and his team discovered the system of 3 planets in 2008. But this week, a new discovery.
So we're pretty excited that we discovered a 4th planet in this system.
He's excited but puzzled because the Jupiter-like planet, known as Planet E, is so close to its star, defying all understanding of how solar systems are formed.
The mechanism that forms the 3 distant planets doesn't work as multiply, and that thing being so close, it's really unexplained. So something is not right in our current understanding of planet formation. Or you need to complicate the story that maybe the planet formed further out and moved in, or closer in and moved out. So it's really a China current planet formation theory.
Marois spotted Planet E while on parental leave. The solar system, called HR 8799, is a hotspot he's been keeping an eye on.
The size of the HR 8799 system is roughly twice the size of our system. It's a much bigger system. The planets are much more massive.
Planet E was noticed through direct observation.
We were able to take images of the planet itself, see light from the planet. It's not an angular detection. And that allowed us to do some much more deeper analysis of the planet itself, figure out its chemistry, its physics, etc.
What Marois' team has learned is that each of the planets is a gas giant, some 10 times the size of Jupiter. Marois says the planets are still glowing because they're considered young. Scientists believe the system, with a star 128 light years from Earth, was formed as recently as 30 million years ago. The key to stellar success? Technology.
So we're doing a next generation instrument called the Gemini Planetometer. So this is a $20 million instrument funded by the NSF, and it's dedicated to look for dragon-like planets around the nearest stars. So again, it's what we call a chronograph. So it's a very expensive sum that's going to block the light from the star and allow us to really look really close to the star for really faint objects that are probably down to Jupiter mass around roughly 5 AU or 5 times the distance between the Earth and the Sun.
Planet E opens the door to learning more about the formation and evolution of planets, but everyone wants to know, is there life out there?
It's possible that HR 8799 has rocky planets or a young version of Earth or Mars or Venus, and it simply have no way of knowing.
In San Jasper Brownschmidt, E! News.
Okay, returning much closer to home now, on the December weekend, the South Island will not forget. As I mentioned earlier, Victoria broke a temperature record with a high nearing 14 degrees today. That's not going to last, and thankfully neither is all of the rain. The rainfall warning on the South Island has ended, although Casino Euclid area is under a rainfall warning for tonight. It should stay pretty dry everywhere else until tomorrow. However, showers will then return, but we're not just expecting anything nearly as heavy as the past 24 hours. Here's your Monday forecast, starting in the south, a high of 8 for the capital region with a 40% chance of showers in the morning. Then winds picking up in the afternoon, 9 degrees for the Cowichan Valley with a 60% chance of showers, 8 degrees for Nanaimo, with 10 millimeters of rain expected to fall and 40 to 60 kilometer per hour gusts. 6 for Port Alberni with 25 millimeters of rain, 30 millimeters falling for Tofino Ucluelet with a high of 8 with 50 to 70 kilometer per hour winds. A high of 8 for the Comox Valley, Campbell River and Sayward with showers and 40 to 60 kilometer per hour gusts in the afternoon. And for the North Island, Port McNeill, Port Hardy, Port Alice, and even Zabalas, 40 millimeters of rain expected to fall for Monday. For the next 7 days for the capital, as you can see, there isn't a dry day in sight. We should be seeing some sun here and there, but we're looking at least a 50 to 60% chance of showers for most of the coming week. Still ahead tonight, Stephen Andrew brings us more on the recall campaign targeting Liberal Cabinet Minister Ida Chong, and more crazy weather this time in the United States where the Metrodome in Minnesota collapsed during a snowstorm. Story next.
So I'm in love with this cute pair of jeans. Only $100. But am I wearing them now? Hello, I'm wearing my older sister's jeans that she really did barbecue style. Or so I thought. See, my mom washed them with this Tide stain rinse and washed booster stuff. She's all, use it with your detergent to help get stains out the first time. Are you kidding me? So now the stains are magically gone and my sister passes on her jeans to me. What a life.
Tide stain relief. Stains out, no doubt.
Grandma, can we get this broken Nick? Sure. Yes, thanks. The computer guy gave us all the info we need and showed me how to set it up. It's super easy.
It's perfect.
This one's your local lick.
So what did I get firecrackers?
Oh, thanks, look.
You're gonna save that for me when I get home. I really miss you guys.
Nobody does it better. Except maybe you. Is your skin state inevitable and transforming the look of it an impossible dream? With Olay Challenge what's possible. Challenge luxury creams, even a $500 cream. Olay Regenerist outperformed them. With Olay Pro X, challenge the belief that only skin specialists can give you noticeable skincare results. And challenge 7 visible signs of aging all in one with Olay Total Effects. Love how you see yourself and feel about yourself more than you dreamed possible. With Olay, challenge what's possible.
There's a specialty store in town that's all about beads. Victoria V-Town Designs will fulfill all your needs. Amber, hemp crystals, and DC jade. Get one-on-one help and have your vision made. Susan and Lori are experts times 2. With 25 years experience, they know what to do. You'll find books, supplies, and new stuff every week, right here at 1317 Broad Street. So take your time and explore this new store. Victoria V-Town Designs is what you've been waiting for.
Get out there and see what's happening all over Vancouver Island with Myra and Jordan.
The Canucks alumni are coming to Nanaimo on February 5th. It's Hockey for Life, supporting the Nanaimo and District Hospital Foundation and BC Children's Hospital. Get your tickets at Sport Check in Woodgrove Center. And register now for Ski for MS, taking place at Mount Washington on January 30th. Funds raised support MS services and research on the island.
For all your local sports highlights, watch A News at 5 and 11.
Well, winter isn't even officially here yet, but a huge blizzard is lashing across the Midwest and heading toward Ontario, and winter advisories have been issued in nearly 30 states. ABC's Clayton Sandell, reporting from Minneapolis, says this is one for the record books.
The heavy snow literally brought down the house at the Minnesota Vikings Stadium. The Metrodome's inflatable Teflon roof proved no match for 17 inches of snow that have left Minneapolis socked in. No one was hurt in the collapse.
We had an overweighting of certain panels on the roof, caused the roof fabric to rupture and deflated the roof.
Residents are bearing up and digging out.
If you don't have to go out, don't go out. Just stay at home and get the gallon of milk.
The culprit is a mammoth storm sprawling 1,500 miles from the plains to the Great Lakes and all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. High winds and snow up to 2 feet have turned many places into no-go zones. Hundreds of flights were canceled. The Minneapolis airport was one of 3 that at least temporarily shut down. Near whiteout conditions made travel a gamble, closing roads in 5 states. This was Minnesota's biggest snowfall in almost 20 years. Portions of Interstate 90 were shut down overnight. In